Modern life has a simple rule. If it's not useful, it's a waste of time. If it doesn't make money, it's not worth doing. And if it doesn't lead somewhere, it shouldn't be started. And slowly, without noticing, we begin to measure everything this way. What's the point? What's the return? What do I get out of this? But something strange is happening. We have never been more efficient, and yet we have never felt more empty. People don't daydream anymore. They optimize. They don't explore. They calculate. Even hobbies are no longer free. They are turned into side hustles. Even rest feels guilty if it isn't productive. And in this constant calculation, something quietly disappears. Curiosity, wonder, the courage to do something for no reason at all. Zhuangzi once said, 无用之用，方为大用. The usefulness of the useless is the greatest usefulness. At first, it sounds like a paradox, but it may be one of the most accurate descriptions of how human progress actually works. Useless does not mean meaningless. It means not driven by immediate reward, not forced into productivity, not reduced to the function. It is the act of doing something simply because you are drawn to it. All of curiosity, all of love, all of a quiet sense that this matters, even if you can't explain why. This is where art begins. This is where science begins. This is where exploration begins. Not with profit, but with wonder. There was a time when humans spent over 2 centuries trying to measure the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Not for profit, not for immediate application, but because they wanted to know. They tracked a rare event, the transit of Venus. When the planet passes across the face of the Sun, it required patience across generations, coordination across nations, and a willingness to pursue something that had no clear return. In 1769, an expedition led by James Cook sailed to Tahiti to observe it. Astronomy, navigation, geography, all aligned for a single moment that lasted only hours. From that useless curiosity, we refined our understanding of the solar system. We improved navigation. We expanded the known world. What began as wonder became civilization. Now compare that to how most people live today. We have more tools, more comfort, more access to knowledge than any generation before us, and yet we hesitate to begin. We scroll endlessly, consuming fragments of other people's lives. We have ideas, many ideas, but we rarely act on them. Because before we begin, we ask, will this be useful? And if the answer is unclear, we stop. Not because we are incapable, but because we are afraid of doing something that cannot be justified. What we are losing is not intelligence, it is something more fundamental, the willingness to be naive, to be pointless, to be moved by something without needing a reason. That childlike impulse to explore, to imagine, to try is not a weakness. It is the origin of everything we now call useful. Without it, there is no art, no breakthrough, no need into the unknown, only repetition, optimization, and slow exhaustion. Zhuangzi's insight is simple. If you are only pursuing what is useful, you will never reach what truly matters. Because what truly matters always begins as something unnecessary, something inefficient, something unjustified, something useless. The things that move humanity forward are rarely born from calculation. They come from curiosity, from passion, from a quiet refusal to reduce life into transactions. And maybe the real danger today is not that we waste time, but that we no longer allow ourselves to do anything that looks like wasting time. Because in that space, that unproductive, unnecessary, useless space is where life begins to feel alive again. What you call useless today may be the most important thing you ever do.